In a village where time itself seemed to move more gently, there stood a clock shop unlike any other. Every clock inside it was alive with magic. Some chimed with the songs of distant birds, some glowed softly beneath the moon, and some held tiny golden stars behind their glass faces, twinkling with every passing second. The shop belonged to the village clockmaker, a kind old man whose clocks never ran late and never ran fast. But his greatest treasure was not any clock he had ever built. It was his daughter, Mira. Mira spent her days helping her father wind clocks, polish brass gears, and deliver timepieces across the village. Yet more than anything, she loved exploring the hidden corners of the workshop. She believed every ticking clock carried a secret. One rainy evening, while searching for a missing toolbox, Mira discovered a narrow staircase hidden behind a shelf. She had never seen it before. Curiosity tugged at her heart. Holding a lantern, she climbed the dusty steps until she reached a forgotten attic. Hundreds of ancient clocks covered the walls. Tiny clocks, giant clocks, clocks shaped like flowers, moons, and castles. But one clock stood alone at the center of the room. It was covered in silver dust. Its hands were frozen, and inside its crystal face floated dozens of glowing lights. Mira stepped closer. The lights drifted slowly like fireflies trapped inside glass. As her fingers touched the clock, one tiny golden light suddenly separated from the others. It floated into the air and began circling her head. Then, to her astonishment, she heard a gentle voice, a voice no larger than a whisper. "Please help me." Mira nearly dropped her lantern. The little light trembled. "I don't have much time left." "What are you?" Mira wondered. The light flickered sadly. "I am a forgotten wish." The room grew silent. The tiny wish explained that long ago, people made wishes with hope in their hearts. Most wishes were fulfilled. Some changed. Some faded naturally. But a few were abandoned and forgotten. Those forgotten wishes drifted into the magical clock, where they remained suspended between existence and disappearance. When the last spark fades, the wish whispered, "We vanish forever." Mira looked at the tiny light. Unlike the others, it was dim and weak. Its glow flickered as if a breeze might extinguish it at any moment. "What was your wish?" she asked. The little light hesitated. "I don't remember." Mira blinked. "You forgot?" The wish glowed faintly. When a wish is forgotten for too long, even it forgets itself. A sadness settled over the attic. No one deserved to disappear without knowing who they were. Not even a wish. Mira made her decision. Then she smiled. "If there's still time, we'll find out." The tiny light brightened just a little, and so began a journey unlike anything Mira had ever imagined. The wish guided her beyond the village, through valleys where flowers chimed like bells and forests where leaves glowed silver beneath starlight. Along the way, they searched for clues. The wish seemed strangely drawn toward certain places. An old wooden bridge, a hill covered in blue flowers, a tiny stream hidden between moss-covered stones. Each place stirred fragments of memory. Not complete memories, only feelings, laughter, warmth, hope. As they traveled, the wish grew brighter, and Mira found herself caring deeply about saving it. Days passed. Then one evening they arrived at the edge of a forgotten forest. At its center stood a lonely cottage. The roof sagged with age. Vines curled around its windows. No smoke rose from the chimney. No laughter echoed from inside. The wish suddenly burst with light. For the first time, it shone brilliantly. "This is it." Mira's heart raced. She approached the cottage and gently pushed open the door. Inside sat an elderly woman. She rocked slowly beside a cold fireplace. Her eyes gazed out the window as though she were waiting for something she could no longer remember. The wish floated forward. Its light trembled. Then memories began filling the room like golden leaves. Images swirled through the air. A little girl, a kind father, a workshop filled with clocks, dreams of becoming a great clockmaker one day. Mira stared. The images looked strangely familiar. Then realization struck. The little girl was her grandmother, the elderly woman before her. Long before Mira was born. Long before her father became the village clockmaker. The forgotten wish finally remembered itself. It had been her grandmother's childhood wish. Not for riches, not for fame, not for power. She had wished to build a magical clock that would bring comfort to lonely hearts. A clock that would remind people they were never truly alone. But life had moved on. Years passed. Responsibilities grew. The dream faded. The tiny light floated toward the elderly woman. Soft golden sparks surrounded her. Suddenly her eyes widened. A memory awakened. Then another and another. A gentle smile spread across her face. For the first time in years, joy returned to her eyes. "I remember," she whispered. Something unexpected happened. The wish transformed. Golden light poured through the cottage. It flowed into sketches scattered across old drawers, into forgotten blueprints hidden beneath dusty books, into every dream that had once been abandoned.
Look, this gear sequence is perfect.
Yes, a brilliant connection, Mira.
Together, we'll make it work.
The next morning, 3 generations gathered inside the clock shop. Using the old sketches and new ideas, they began building the magical clock from the forgotten dream. Weeks turned into months. At last, the clock was finished. It stood taller than any clock in the village. At its center glowed a warm, golden light. Whenever someone felt lonely, the clock released tiny, sparkling stars that drifted through the streets, carrying gentle reminders of love, friendship, and hope. The village adored it, but no one loved it more than Mira's grandmother, because every time she heard it chime, she remembered something important. Dreams do not disappear simply because they are forgotten. Sometimes they wait patiently for the right heart to find them again. And high in the attic, the ancient silver clock continued ticking softly. Its chamber was a little emptier now, yet somehow brighter, because one forgotten wish had finally found its way home. And because of one curious girl who chose to listen, an old dream became a beautiful reality, proving that even the smallest forgotten wish can change the future when someone believes it still matters.